On April 8, 2018, an attack in Syria shocked the world. Footage from the aftermath of the incident showed men, women, and children desperately gasping for air and being hosed down with water by first responders, a scene that is often associated with chemical weapons attacks. But chemical weapons are illegal and have been banned globally since 1925, when the international community came together and signed a treaty called the Geneva Protocol. But despite them being banned, it hasn't prevented some world leaders from using these brutal weapons against people. I'm Judah with Now This World, and in today's episode, we're looking back at 6 world leaders who have used chemical weapons since the signing of the Geneva Protocol in 1925. The first use of chemical weapons after they were internationally banned was by Italy's fascist dictator Benito Mussolini, after he invaded Ethiopia in 1935. Mussolini launched an attack on the Ethiopian Empire from its then colony Eritrea in Italian Somaliland. Mussolini was determined to expand his empire at any cost, even if that meant going against the Geneva Protocol his country had signed onto in 1928. The Italians used chemical weapons, including dropping mustard bombs and spraying mustard from airplane tanks. According to the Ethiopian emperor at the time, Haile Selassie, the chemical weapons killed tens of thousands of people. The next use happened following Imperial Japan's invasion of China in 1937, during the Second Sino-Japanese War. Japanese Emperor Hirohito reportedly signed off on the use of chemical and biological weapons against Chinese soldiers and civilians, as he tried to expand his control onto mainland China. It's estimated that Japan conducted between 1,000 to 3,000 attacks, and reportedly produced 5 to 7 million munitions containing chemical agents like hydrogen cyanide and mustard. There is no official count on how many people died as a result of these chemical weapons, but an estimated 300,000 people died during the period of this war. The effects of the use and abandonment of chemical weapons in China still reverberate to this day. After the war, a treaty signed in 1997 stipulated that the Japanese government is responsible for cleaning up the weapons left behind. The next case was Adolf Hitler's use of chemical gases beginning in 1941. While he didn't use the banned weapons in the battlefield, he did use them in Nazi concentration camps to kill prisoners during the Holocaust. A banned chemical agent known as Zyklon B was used in concentration camp facilities disguised as showers to kill prisoners during Hitler's brutal campaign of ethnic cleansing. Up to 6 million Jews were murdered in total during the Holocaust. Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser also used chemical weapons in Yemen when Egypt intervened in the country's civil war in 1963. The war, known as the North Yemen Civil War, began in 1962 after the death of the country's king. When power was handed down to his son, dissidents within the military staged a coup, overthrowing the monarchy and established a republic. Military forces loyal to the former king retreated to the north of the country and continued to fight the new Republican forces. Egypt was one of the few regional states that backed the new government in Yemen, as Nasser attempted to partner with other Arab nationalists. Under Nasser's leadership, Egypt used brutal tactics to crack down on the royalist forces. The nation repeatedly used chemical weapons, including mustard and nerve agents, between 1963 and 1967. The move made him the first Arab leader to use the banned weapons. The next world leader to use chemical weapons was Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein, in at least 2 separate occasions. The first came during the Iraq-Iran War that began in 1980. Just months after the war began, Saddam Hussein reportedly used his home-produced chemical weapons against Iranian forces. He reportedly used the banned weapons repeatedly against Iran between 1980 and 1987. Then, in 1988, he aimed his chemical weapons against another group, Iraqi Kurds. On March 16, 1988, he dropped chemical weapons including mustard gas and sarin on the Kurdish town of Halabja. The attack killed between 3,200 to 5,000 people. Hussein also used the weapons against the Kurds again during what was known as the Anfal Offensive, which was a 7-month scorched earth campaign where 50,000 to 100,000 Kurds were killed or disappeared. Bashar al-Assad would become the next leader to use chemical weapons in August 2013 during the height of the Syrian Civil War. The attack targeted opposition groups who controlled the town near the country's capital. United Nations inspectors confirmed the use of a nerve agent, including sarin gas, in the attack that reportedly killed nearly 1,500 people. While a number of governments and international organizations say there is overwhelming evidence the Syrian government was behind this attack, Assad still denies his government was responsible. Throughout the Syrian Civil War, Assad's government has been repeatedly accused of using chemical weapons on opposition strongholds, most recently in April 2018. After World War I, world leaders recognized just how brutal chemical weapons were and signed a treaty to outlaw their use. But how and who is responsible for enforcing the laws remains unclear. So what will it take for the world to move beyond denouncing these brutal acts and take actions to make sure no one uses them again? Let me know what you think in the comments below.